Hello folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Legacy video. Today's Pact Spanish Inquisition video is sponsored by Art Punch, who does digital art, and you can check out his work at patreon.com/artpunch. Alright, what is happening here? We are going to play one of the fastest and most fragile storm decks in Legacy, called Pact Spanish Inquisition. It's the Spanish Inquisition because nobody expects it. There's an old joke there. Dinosaurs like me will understand. All right, so we are playing Draw 4s here. Cruel Bargain and Infernal Contract both allow you to draw 4 cards for 3 mana, but you lose half your life rounded up each time you cast one of these. So essentially, we are going to use the traditional kind of shell of Storm that you might be used to with things like Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, Lion's Eye Diamond, and Infernal Tutor to search up your win condition. But we're going a little spicy, and we're going a little fast, and we're playing a little loose. Culling the Weak is kind of the big thing that makes Spanish Inquisition its own archetype. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you sacrifice a creature, and you get 4 black for a single mana. Now, we are going to play a, air quotes, free creature in the form of Dryad Arbor that we can sacrifice, and we can also pitch cast something like an Endurance or a Grief, and then sacrifice it via Culling the Weak to kind of repeat this effect and get this mana acceleration before the sacrifice trigger actually resolves. And kind of holding the rest of the deck together are a handful of weird things that seem super fringe, but kind of work here. The backside of Blacks is a great example of this. Search for Blacks. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You can put any number of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. You lose 3 life for each card you put into your hand this way. This can be a way to allow you to get like the tutor that you're looking for, although you have to be careful with your life total, because your life total goes down pretty darn quickly when you're playing Cruel Bargains, right? Like the first one probably costs you 10 life, and then each one after that gets a little bit easier. Ultimately, we are looking to get to 10 Storm and cast a Tendrils of Agony. And believe it or not, we're looking to do this on turn 1 or turn 2 most of the time. If you take a look at the main deck here, there is basically no interaction with the opponent. There are no duresses. There are no Thoughtseizes. This is just like, I'm going for it, stop me or you die. And I goldfished this one a handful of times in the tournament practice room, because let's be real, this is a little more complicated than a lot of the things that I normally play on the channel. So I felt like I wouldn't do the deck justice if I didn't play a handful of games to just kind of make sure I got the vibes of what this deck was trying to do. Now, notably, some amount of the time we are going to just kill ourselves. I swear we had packs. Spanish Pact. There they are. We do have Summoner's Pact, which allows us to search for a green creature, which is normally going to be Dryad Arbor, so that we can sacrifice it to Culling the Weak, but sometimes it's Elvish Spirit Guide instead for the mana acceleration. Or every once in a while, we'll need to do something like grab Ravenous Squirrel and put it under a Chrome Mox to get color fixing. So sometimes, like, we'll go for it, and we'll die to our Summoner's Pact, and, like, that is what it is. This is absolutely a YOLO deck. As far as the post-sideboard games go, basically in the post-sideboard games, we're looking to just like board in Carpet of Flowers and a bunch of Goblin Charbelchers and become just a little bit more reasonable versus the blue decks. And if we're playing against a non-blue deck, like, fuck it, we're just going to try to go off on turn 1 before they play their interaction, right? That's what game 3 is for, just like win when we're on the play after winning game 1. This will be shenanigans. This league is going to go fast, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Let's see how many Force of Will decks we get paired against. All right, anyway, I hope you'll enjoy. If you're new here and this is your first time seeing this content, if you like it, there's a whole lot more. Consider subscribing. And if you're a regular, throw me a like before this video begins. That's the easiest way to support my content for free. Let's battle. Okay. I don't think this hand quite works. I Chrome Mox, Imprint Dark Ritual, go up to 3 mana, play LED. Land Grant, go up to 4 mana. Cast Ill-Gotten Gains, have LED left over. Or alternatively, cast Blacks crack LED and go from there. This one's a little questionable. It's like close to working, but I don't think it's really quite gonna work. I think I'd rather mulligan and see where the mulligan goes. Okay. I don't think this one quite works either. Chromox, Imprint Squirrel, Lotus Petal, Infernal Tutor. Can Infernal Tutor kind of with 2 more mana after that. I'm kind of a mana short of continuing. I will go to 5. What does this one do? Lotus Petal, or maybe Chromox do this. Squirrel, Culling, Ill-Gotten Gains. One's awkward because I don't actually have a way to win the game. Ill-Gotten Gains doesn't win the game here. I'm going to go to 4 because I think like a Dark Ritual, a draw 4 hand is just better than this. At this point, I think I probably just need to keep and try to piece something together after a couple of turns. I think if I'm winning this one, it's off Infernal Tutor, not Ill-Gotten Gains. Let's keep Infernal Tutor, and maybe we crack LED, or like we get an LED and then cast an Echo and kind of go from there. Fuck, I think we're playing against Delver. That's so bad. Rule bargain. Rule bargain around days. Hell yeah, we're in business. This hand's great. What's a wasteland and why would I care about it? Rule bargain. Oh shit, it just resolved. Unfortunately, I did not hit another initial mana source. So we're just chilling here till next turn. Man, a Lion's Eye Diamond would be cool, though. Please don't wasteland me. Oh. Okay. That's bad. I don't think I want to put an Endurance in play. I think I just want to hold all this stuff in my hand. Yeah, I think I want to hold all this stuff in my hand. No. Alright, it's an Omniscience. Oh, does opponent... Okay, opponent does not have the win immediately. So you're telling me there's a chance. Dark Ritual. Alright, Infernal Contract will go down to 5 life. That is a Force of Will pay for free off of Omniscience. So we're chilling. So all my opponent's cantrips and such are going to become free, meaning they can probably put together a win with Omniscience relatively quickly. If they don't just have a creature to play, that might mean they just have a bunch of counter magic in hand. So like, alright, I am at 10 life, so that does instantly kill me. We will try again. So I know my opponent is playing a bunch of free counter magic, which makes things awkward. So I was told when playing against blue, I cut 4 packs, 4 Cullings, Ill-Gotten Gains, Dryad Arbor, Whirl, Echo. That's not quite enough yet. Need to cut 2 more. So I am supposed to cut some of Black's Elvish Spirit Guide, Manamorphose, a draw 4 spell, or even both Tendrils. This is a cute win condition. All right. Also, like, I'm kind of wondering if Show and Tell counts as blue, because like it does have counter spells, but like also an Ancient Tomb deck, so like the carpets definitely get worse in some situations. I think I'm gonna cut Blex for being kind of expensive, and I'm gonna like filter mana into things like the Charbelcher and the Tomb a lot of times anyway. And then I don't know, Manamorphose seems pretty expendable to me. I would like to play first. This is weird. It has 2 of my sideboard cards, the ability to cast them, and interaction in the form of Grief. I think I am on board with this. It's definitely weird, and not the, like, turbo rate at which I kind of want to play here. I think I am going to just start on Xantid Swarm this turn, and then have a better chance of resolving all of my stuff next turn. If my opponent has, like, Soul Land, Lotus Petal, Show and Tell, Idiot, that's bad for me. Okay. Doesn't look like that's happening. Oddly, opponent did play Mountain, which is kind of a kick in the teeth for me here. Alright. So, opponent now cannot cast spells this turn, which is dope. I will play this land. I am unsure if I want to use Dark Ritual for Tomb or like Dark Ritual for Grief or like how I want to go about doing these things. Let's let's do this. All right. There's a Dark Ritual. I'm going to cast a Grief. I will pitch the Elvish Spirit Guide to do so, in hopes of taking a show and tell here. See what happens. Magus of the Moon. Wild. Huh. The opponent can just play Magus next turn, and then work towards sneak attack. Or I can just, like, take their sneak attack and say, like, yeah, you can Magus me, I'll play Carpet of Flowers and just attack you with a 3-2 repeatedly. That's a weird spot. A really weird spot. Like, this is also cool. I have a bunch of artifact mana. You can Magus me. I'm going to take the sneak attack. Alright. There's a Carpet. I've got a win condition in play. I have a Carpet of Flowers, which will help me, like, not care about Magus of the Moon. Which my opponent isn't even going for this turn. And that's a Shuffle off the Ponder. Say no to Carpet of Flowers for now. Do everything in the post-combat main phase where things are guaranteed to resolve. There's 3 damage. Yes, I will add my mana. There's 4 in addition to this, which I don't have yet. I think I'll just make green mana here. I will just straight up play this as a clock. Just say no to that. You can keep those cards in your graveyard. Alright, yep. So opponent can still assemble like a show and tell or sneak attack based win, but I have 6 points of pressure, maybe soon to be 11, depending on how exactly my opponent plays here. So I might just kill him 2 turns. Okay. All right, there is the Magus. So this no longer can produce a creature. Okay, land grant is fine. Let's just crash in for 6. Opponent did a little bit of damage to themselves with an Ancient Tomb activation as well. Kind of like for what that's worth. All right. I want to land grant or Dryad Arbor now. Sure. So this reveals my hand. I ported out Dryad Arbor. Well, okay, a land grant got worse. All right. I did not practice post sideboard games. In case that wasn't already clear. It looks like opponent found something scary. I think I die. Yeah. That'll do nicely. Alright. Opponent did the more broken combo thing. Alright, round 2. I can't produce the first black mana to cast Culling the Weak to get this chain started. Get a green mana off of this. That's not getting me anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and mulligan this one. Act for Spirit Guide does not get me anywhere here. So I think this one has to be a mulligan as well. This one can attempt at get going. I'll keep this. Ill-Gotten Gains can go back here, as can Manamorphose, I think. And we're going to attempt to go for it turn 1 and just see what happens. All right. Go up to 3 mana with Cabal Ritual. Go down to 10 life, draw 4, and try to keep the chain going. Okay. Summoner's Pact is another mana. So I can play Lotus Petal, Summoner's Pact for Spirit Guide, cast Infernal Tutor. I can get an Echo. No, I can't get an Echo of Eons and then discard it, right? Ooh. Do I pass the turn? Or do I just, like, YOLO? If I YOLO, I can Lotus Petal, Summoner's Pact, LED, Infernal Tutor, crack LED, LED for black, and go. I think I'm just going to wait a turn. Then I have 1 more mana, plus 1 more card. A little rough if I get Wastelanded. Alright, Bobble. Might be playing against an Artifact deck. Could also just be Delver still. That Bobble targeted themselves. Okay. Undra. So we are potentially playing against a blue Urza's Saga deck. Let's, well, do I win this game if my opponent gets more turns? Because if the answer is no, I just go right now. I don't know that I'm beating a Force of Will effect this game. Alright. I have called YOLO. I am not responsible for whatever happens here. Elvish Spirit Guide. Lotus Petal. LED. LED. Exile that for mana. Infernal Tutor. Holding priority. Cracking LEDs. For black. I guess black again, because that's what I normally want here. I die. Oh, I'm not dead. I have 6 mana. Ill-Gotten Gains kills, I believe. Ill-Gotten Gains go down to 2 mana. Return Infernal Tutor, double LED. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. Alright, Ill-Gotten Gains. Oh, fuck! Onboard Soul Guide Lantern. So I should have just taken a... Yeah, alright. Playing fast and loose. Okay, so what was actually the line? So I had 6 mana and what? Storm 5? I was one short of Charbelcher plus activate. Could have gone for a draw 7 in the form of Echo with 2 LEDs. So crack the first LED, get Echo, crack the second LED, draw 7. That puts my opponent into a counterspell some portion of the time, though. Oh, was my Storm 5? So I wasn't quite getting there on Tendrils. Yeah, I needed to go for a draw 4. Okay. I fucked that one up. I'm using all of my processing power to figure out, like, how do I kill my opponent in this deck I haven't played very much? Okay. So, 15 cards in. And we'll do the same thing as before. So that was Axe out, Pulling out, Ill-Gotten Gains out, Whirl and Dryad Arbor out, Echo of Eons and Endurance out, and then 2 more cuts. I think I did Manamorphose and Blacks. Honestly, I should just, like, take a picture of that just so that I remember what that package is every time. There we go. Wonderful. Oh, I didn't actually... That was the wrong screen entirely. Blah. Okay. This is why we took a picture, right? Okay, got it all done in time. Yeah, I'll keep the hand that lets me produce a carpet. A little awkward versus just, like, Prismatic Ending, which is a thing that I expect to see from the other side of the table, but, like, maybe that's been boarded out. Alright. Imprint Spirit Guide. Play Carpet. Alright. Carpet's resolved. We'll hope that it makes it around the table. And real bad if it doesn't. I can just, like, draw into, like, mana and stuff and get a quick Goblin Charbelcher kill, but, like, I'm really hoping Prismatic Ending is not a thing this turn. Seems like it's going to be. Yeah. Alright, not a fan of all these Chrome Mox right now. Like, one Chrome Mox usually is about the number of those that I want. See if I'm facing down a quick Stoneforge Mystic or something like that that's actually going to pressure me. Okay. So we're probably playing against a... I probably need to Chrome Mox to play that around Days, now that I've seen Dragon Rage Channeler. So Gunk Grief in order to do that. Play Carpet. Alright, sick. It has resolved. I don't have anything to do with my mana this turn. I can start throwing Haymakers as of next turn. I may end up waiting, because, like, I want to play a Goblin Charbelcher around Days 100% of the time. Okay, opponent passing on a Wasteland, as I don't control any lands. Makes sense. Okay, and Urza's Saga is coming, which is a little awkward, because, like, if my opponent has a Pithing Needle, it can go on Goblin Charbelcher. But I don't really care about the Soul Guide Lantern right now. I've boarded out my Ill-Gotten Gains. Alright, sure, Retrofitter Foundry as well. I mostly care about, like, things that are going to punch me very hard. Like, I care about Murktide Regent. Ooh. How do I feel about just making a 5/5 here? I think it's better to just ram Goblin Charbelcher down my opponent's throat 2 turns in a row. 5/5 doesn't win the game. Alright. Here is a Goblin Charbelcher played around a Daze. Okay, opponent's last 2 cards were Force of Will plus blue card, which is very fortunate for them. And they kept whatever was on top of their library. So they have some live card. Sure. Alright, they have junked a Ponder. The opponent has instant sorcery land in their graveyard. They could crack Soul Guide Lantern to grow Dragon Rage Channeler and start attacking for 3. They're paying costs on something. Surgical Extraction on my Goblin Charbelcher. That is some shit right there. That is absolutely some shit right there. Like, you can't make that up. I'll take my 3 damage. Alright. Yes. I'll make a black. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll make a 5/5 demon. And that can chill for a little while. It's not going to beat my opponent, because like my opponent can do all sorts of chump blocking with retrofitter tokens. They can make a Murktide Regent that's just larger than this stuff. They can make an Urza Saga token that's larger than this stuff. Yeah. There's also Aether Spellbomb as something they could potentially have. Not this time though. Dragon Rage Channeler has to attack. So I do get to eat that for free. Very nice. Servo attack seems free. Yeah. I'll block Dragon Rage Channeler. That's a pretty good turn cycle for me. Here's to hoping I draw more of this thing, I guess. Oh wait, is this legendary? It's legendary. JK. Sure, are you just gonna crack your... Nope, okay. Eternal Witness. Huh. That's neat. So let's say no to this for right now. Do I become the beatdown? These are legendary, which is awkward for me. Alright, let's crash in. See if my opponent just ends up chumping. The answer is no. We'll use this ability. Make green with it. Play Eternal Witness. And attempt to do this thing. My opponent will disrupt with Soul Guide Lantern. Well, potentially. Okay, yeah, they are gonna take that value. Alright. I have the larger creatures at least right now. But my opponent can produce jump blockers. I think I am hoping that I can just crash in a couple of times. But we'll see. Yeah, not great for me. I need to take this hit. The Eternal Witness can block for more than 3 later. So, like, it will at minimum block for 4 next turn, assuming this gets activated. Mystic Sanctuary. What are they even Mystic Sanctuary here? Ending is reasonable. Ending answering Carpet of Flowers next turn. Okay. YOLO. Black. Rule Bargain. Go to 5 life. Multiple Tendrils. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 easy mana. Okay. Lotus Petal. Tomb. Romux. Imprint. Infernal Tutor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tendrils you. Alright. That puts opponent to 1. I'm at 12. My opponent can block this Eternal Witness to not die. I think I missed lethal also. I think I could have Infernal Tutored for a Lotus Petal. Right, because I have the extra 2 mana. Yeah, I could have Infernal Tutored. Oh, right, they can turn that into a 4/4. I was taking that in a different direction. Yeah, I think I could have Infernal Tutored for a Lotus Petal. Played Lotus Petal and then had lethal. I still have lethal this next turn though, because like I know my opponent's card is Prismatic Ending, and I don't take lethal here. So like I've still got it, but that was sloppy on my end. Like different deterministic. Do Prismatic Ending on Carpet of Flowers. Then we're good. Just tendrils you. Just baby tendrils. Okay. Actually, I wonder if Endurance is supposed to stay in just as a 3/4 that I play out off a Carpet of Flowers sometimes. I don't hate that. Eternal Witness doesn't seem super good here. Like opponent has surgicals and graveyard artifact-based graveyard hate as well. All right, what does this hand do? Just tries to resolve Carpet of Flowers. Hope it works. I mean, Carpet of Flowers is really good with this, like all the stuff that I have here. If it resolves, Like, that is an if, but I think I'm just keeping any and all Carpet of Flowers based hands in this matchup. Its upside is just so incredibly high. Alright, so that is going to name Goblin Charbelcher. Okay, as expected. Xantid Swarm. That's pretty good. Yeah. Lotus Petal. I don't have another easy green source here because I'm trying to play around days by playing this land. I think I'm going to jam the Carpet now. Like, jamming Xantid Swarm first is definitely better in some ways. Ooh. Turn off auto yields. Use this ability, yes. Or green. Play out the Xantid Swarm. Yeah, I guess in the worlds where it works, that's actually really nice. I don't think I want to land grant now. See. Okay, so I will have one of Xantid Swarm or Carpet of Flowers as of next turn. Now my opponent doesn't have the line of like Lightning Bolt plus Prismatic Ending to answer both of my permanents. See which one they answer, if they can answer one. Alright, this is an ending. Yeah. Oh, it's Tear. Sure. Okay. The Xantid Swarm gets to attack and shut off counter spells. Little buddy gets in there for no damage, that's fine. So let's land grant. That gets me Bayou. Stupid Pithing Needle. Play Bayou. Dark Ritual. Infernal Contract. Second one of these. Play a new Xantid Swarm. And I'm actually just kind of scared that I'll just like die to a Murktide Regent. Not gonna lie. Pithing Needle really just punched hard here. Yeah. Infernal Tutor isn't really good here. I want to save that for when I have mana. I think I'm just gonna pass the turn here. Roll bargains get considerably worse once I've taken a hit for 5. In the awkward situation where I have like all gas but no ritual mana to enable them. Alright, I'm gonna take the hit. My situation isn't good, but I can go from like 4 to 2 and 2 to 1. Or I guess I don't have an ogre, so it's not quite like that. Boy, that's awkward in terms of timing, isn't it? Sure is. I have to cast this pre-combat, I think. Yeah, and the reason I have to cast it, I think, pre-combat is because if I swing in with a Xantid Swarm, play this, and then try to like go off next turn, I am dead to any removal spell on Xantid Swarm, which is just a ton of cards. So I think I have to now leave back both of these for this turn cycle. Ooh, actually, I have to block with both Xantid Swarms. Yeah, because my opponent can fetch, like, make a token and fetch an artifact, turning the Consort token into a lethal threat. I don't think I'm on any outs with Pithing Needle on Goblin Charbelcher. Okay. Opponent just getting a Soul Guide Lantern. That's fine. Expected my opponent to be swinging with 2 lethal threats this turn. Maybe they just have another artifact in hand. Yikes. Now my draw 4s are off too. Feels like no outs. Finding a Ponder. That's kind of whatever. Like, the damage is done with the stuff that's in play. I guess my opponent could find a Bobble, and that would be really annoying. Well, if my opponent has a counterspell, they have a counterspell, but I think I need to protect my life total here. Because, like, if I take 3, this isn't even an active card anymore. Yeah, alright. Unseed. Yeah, all opponents' interaction there was tough. Like, I didn't play optimally by any means, but I was fighting an uphill battle. Alright, round 3. This hand has all the mana in the world, but nothing to do with it. So this is going to be a mulligan. Yeah, this one goes places. Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, 3 mana. Lotus Petal, 4 mana, which will be an Infernal Contract. 1 floating. I'm keeping this hand. So my question is, like, what do I throw back of these 3 cards? I think I'm going to throw back a Culling the Weak. I don't know, Culling the Weak helps me get to Charbelcher mana. Or if this fizzles. Throw back a Cruel Bargain? I don't know. This is where reps with the deck would help out a lot. But I don't have those. We're doing it live. Dark Ritual. Infernal Contract. How close to a win are we? This is 3 mana. Land Grant for Dryad Arbor. Gets me up to 6 mana. Summoner's Pact gets me up to 7 mana. Check that. 3 mana. 4 mana with Summoner's Pact for Spirit Guide. Land Grant gets Dryad Arbor. Play Dryad Arbor. Go down to 3 mana, up to 7 mana. Charbelcher activate. Yeah, that maths out. Cast Dryad Arbor. Dark Ritual. Or, well, Lotus Petal. Then Dark Ritual. Dryad Arbor. Pulling the Weak. Sacrificing Dryad Arbor. Summoner's Pact. Or Spirit Guide. Spirit Guide. Goblin Charbelcher. Charbelcher. Target you! Turn 1 win with Spanish Pact Inquisition. We did it. We did it. So here's my question. If we don't know if my opponent is a blue deck, do I sideboard? I think the answer is no. Like, we have 3 games, right? Again, this hand has all the mana in the world, but nothing to do with it. I'm going to have to mulligan this one. Opponent has mulliganed as well. Okay. Now is the thinking part. Could be Chromox Imprint, Culling the Weak, Dark Ritual. I have 5 mana, which is 3 left over with Infernal Tutor, which isn't quite enough to win. It's enough to do a draw 3. I'd probably keep this Pitch Metamorphose and see where this hand goes. Aww, fuck. Oh, double fuck. Alright. Alright. I need to take a look at the main deck. I don't think I can beat that. Right? Tendrils targets. Goblin Charbelcher targets. Oh, I fucked up the deck list, right? Okay, no, I can cast like random Endurance or Grief or something. I think we're just passing the turn here. And even, like, get a Grief trigger to resolve, right? That card also targets? Yeah. Target opponent. Well, this round is gonna go fast. Like, we're absolutely drag racing here. Alright, is it opponent's turn to win? Elvish Spirit Guide in Exile. Undercity Informer. Absolutely. Oh, they're going now. So that gets them a Spirit Guide, so that they just get to go off. Okay, that's fine. So for those of you not familiar with the opponent's deck here, I'll kind of explain it real quick. So what's going to happen is that my opponent has a bunch of Narcomoebas in play now. And they are going to cast a Cabal Therapy. And the Bridge from Below is going to trigger. I do not see their Dread Return, so that's currently in hand. I don't mind showing them my hand here. Probably name something like Surgical Extraction. +2 Mace. Okay. They're feeling confident. I can Summoner's Pact for an Endurance, but then I can't actually pay for it, which is unfortunate. So I think I'm going to see if I can get my opponent to concede to my Summoner Pact. Oh, fuck. Endurance targets 2, doesn't it? What is Endurance's wording? Up to 1 target player. Fuck, Endurance does that too. Alright. Fine. I'll just lose to the Thassa's Oracle. Alright, I got a turn 1. Opponent got a turn 2. I probably need these boarded in. I just have something that can punch my opponent. Metamorphose is expendable. Echo is expendable. Flex is probably expendable. The last one's a little trickier. Eternal Witness is slow. Let's go with Eternal Witness. I don't have a real good way to beat Leyline. I'm keeping this hand. What I do with it varies wildly depending on whether or not opponent mulligans to a Leyline. Opponent is mulliganing to 5. To 4. Okay. I can just make a 5/5 demon on turn 1 Or I can go for the combo. I might be able to do both, honestly. Let's start going. Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual. Actually, I probably want to use this green here. Style that. Ball Ritual, that's 5 mana. LED, Tomb, Hold Priority, Cast Cruel Bargain, Rack for black. Alright, Lotus Petal. Can't get Hellbent. So at this point, I guess I'm making a demon still anyway. Yeah. Opponent says, love the channel and the pod. Keep up the good work. Thanks. Well, no. Let's end the turn there. Let's see if what I have here is good enough to race them. The answer is no in a lot of circumstances. Yeah. Oh shit. I think they got their turn 1. Like I had a turn 1 attempt and like a turn 1 that produced a 5/5 flyer, but they just had a turn 1 kill. Yeah, their deck was just more consistent than mine was. Alright. Opponent has named Thalia Guardian of Thraben in a nod to my history, which I respect. And then this Dread Return just gets me. Well, damn. Alright, round 4. I only have green mana to start with. This is not going to work out. What if I blacks? Pitch Spirit Guide here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 total mana. How much does the backside of blacks actually cost? 4. So I can cast blacks with 5 leftover mana and just absolutely attempt a YOLO. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Here we go. This is one of the strangest lines I've ever taken. Like, we're essentially summoners pacting for a win condition. For the backside of a win condition, rather. Alright. Black mana. More other black mana. Hold priority. Cast Summoner's Pact. Rack for more black. Search for blacks. Cast. Search for blacks. Paying 2. Okay, how much does each one of these cost me? Because all of these cards are very good. Each one of these cost me 3 of life. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 life. I can lose half of my life from there. Yeah, that's fine. I want it all. I want it all. Alright. LED. LED. Land Grant. I think I'll just take Bayou. It's guaranteed mana. Bayou. This gets me to Threshold. So I can cast Cabal Ritual. That goes up to 7. I can now Infernal Contract for half of my life total, rounded up. Fuck yeah, we found the tendrils, baby! Alright, LED. Bayou. Yeah, no need to continue from here. I can just tendrils my opponent. That's another turn 1. Yeah! Yeah! Alright, we're doing the thing. So I don't know what opponent is playing. Maybe I do the thing where I, like, board these in again. Like, anticipating some amount of hate of some kind. I'm sorry I boarded you out in other rounds, Blex. You just earned your stay for sure. Go E-Witness out, Manamorphose out, Echo out. Get these cards in here. I guess the Goblin Charbelcher gets worse if I reveal these lands. But it might still be good enough. Like, I can get more mana pretty easily. Let's go Squirrel out. This has no real starting mana other than, like, 1 green mana. I'm gonna mulligan that. This is probably fine. I'm going to keep this, I think, pitching the Spirit Guide. But maybe I'm supposed to pitch one of the draw 3s. Pitch the Spirit Guide. Alright, we are playing against a blue deck of some kind, so... Well, okay, like, we're probably playing a fuck. Well... Alright. Let's just Bayou pass here. Drawing the Bayou was super awkward. Like, it's okay, but it was awkward. Stop fucking drawing the lands, Phil. Just stop it. Alright. Play Dryad Arbor. Cast Land Grant, revealing my hand. That only gets forests. Fuck. Does not get any land. It just gets any land that has happened to be in my deck when I've been playing Land Grant. Alright, whatever. We were playing it for Storm. Pulling the weak. Sacrificing Dryad Arbor. Infernal Contract. Attempt to draw 4. Which is good enough to get a Force of Will. Rather than Force of Negation? What? Okay. I don't really get to complain, because, like, I fucked up a land grant on this turn, so, like, I've done my own misplays here. But, like, this counters a non-creature spell and sends the card to exile. Both of which are relevant here. Endurance is kind of whatever. Alright, we're chilling. Opponent can have, like, Hull Breacher type effects that are, like, very good against what I'm doing. Sure, that's fine. So we're probably playing against some sort of blue-white or maybe Jeskai control deck. No Yorion here, which has been becoming increasingly popular. That's fine. I'm not going to I'm not going to use my endurance to try to stop the Timeless Dragon. Like, the times where I win probably involve me, like, trying to do something more broken with this, like using it for a Calling the Weak trigger or something. I don't want to spend my resources fighting my opponent's win condition. I want to use my resources to actually win. I feel like I'm at a particular disadvantage in this game where, like, I'm not boarded the way that I want to be boarded. Yuck. Yeah, I've just got to chill here. Get hit in the face a handful of times. A little worried that opponent isn't making plays. That just means, like, they just have multiple counter spells currently. I don't think I go for it this turn. I think I'm going to just wait, take one more card, and then go. Like, if I think my opponent has counter magic, like, trying to use this Summoner's Pact to go off is just, like, super bad. Alright. Here we go. Cast Summoner's Pact. Get a Spirit Guide. Let's exile that. Play Lotus Petal. We're going to play Land Grant to put a card in my graveyard. This unfortunately gives my opponent some extra information, but I think it's fine. Like, they've got interaction or they don't. That's fine. No forest cards. Now I need to crack this Lotus Petal to put my 7th card in graveyard. So I can cast Cabal Ritual. Right, there's a Brainstorm. It's a fine place to try and stop me if they have the ability to. And, oh. Okay. This will be a cruel bargain. Go to 4. That's a Tendrils. Opponent's at 16. Yeah. Mox. Imprint Infernal Tutor. I'm just going to keep building my storm count here. Get a Spirit Guide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to junk my opponent's graveyard real quick. Endurance. Target you. And attempt Tendrils targeting you. Hell yeah. Alright, we are on the board. We have won a match. At round 5, we're playing against a Yorion deck. I have just an LED as starting mana. This hand isn't going to work. And does not have starting black mana. Yeah, this one doesn't work either. Going to 5. Going to 4. Yikes. Do I just keep this and try to work towards mana to activate Charbelcher? Probably. It doesn't feel good. It really doesn't feel good. Like, I am trying to win on turn 1 with this deck. It's either that or try to mold a 3 to get, like, Bayou Dark Ritual draw 4. That's potentially better than this. But this is bad news. Like, opponent, like, probably knows that I'm up to no good. Mox. Why have you forsaken me? Or, I don't know, like, maybe you're in love with me. But this is not what I'm looking for. Alright, we're gonna stare at each other for a little while. That's fine. I'm up to 2 mana for Goblin Charbelcher as of turn 3. Kind of expected to draw some mana. Alright, opponent's still taking no plays, which is super weird to me. Okay, now something's starting up. I'm gonna see like a Night Reliquary type card. Okay, there is blue mana. A Ramunap Excavator. Sure. Lotus Petal, Cabal Ritual, 3 mana. Not really there yet. We're chilling. Now opponent can continue to make their land drops with their Windswept Heath. And see if they start doing anything gross. I'm so dead to a single, like, Force of Will on this Goblin Charbelcher. Ah! That makes a lot of the lines significantly harder for me. Opponent can Prismatic Ending this Charbelcher for X equals 4. If I just play it out and pass. I might not have a better line. Like, the day might be close to lost at this point. So, like, might as well attempt, and then, in theory, any colored mana source is a win next turn. Here we go, Charbelcher. Yeah, like, opponent had to have a force, right? Like, they just, like, sat on their early cards for so long. I think if my opponent plays one more interactive card, I'm just going to concede. The Leovold's so hard for me to beat with, like, just 2 dead cards in hand. My draw 4s are off. My echoes are off. I have to, like, get endurance, block Leovold in combat. I think if my opponent gets any sort of, like, Narset type card, I will just instantly concede. I wouldn't mind getting some more information in this. Fuck you, Chromebox. In this game 1 scenario. Like, at this point, you can't even be mad about it. It's just funny. Like, mold to 4, then rip 4 Chromox off. Ugh. I also just, like, probably die next turn. Like, I'm taking 6 right now, so any other creature is just lethal. Not that opponent has to be in a hurry. Like, they have clear control of the game. Go down to 7. Yeah, I can't think of any real outs. Yeah, I actually can't think of an out. I'm gonna go ahead and just concede. All right. It'll be a 15 cards in situation. Xantid Swarms are a little worse if my opponent does have Ice Fang Coatls to ambush it. Okay, so this is what I have done in previous rounds. I am going to think for a second for whether or not I actually want to board out Search for Blex, because that card was, like, very critical in going off quickly in another round. But opponent has a bunch of, like, creatures like Ramunap and Leovold that can just attack, so, like, maybe this isn't great. Argument to keep in Endurance as something that I can just cast that helps to take out those sort of creatures. Like, maybe do something like that instead. I can buy it. I have to remember that I don't have Dryad Arbor in the deck when I do tutoring. Okay. This goes Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond, Tomb, and produces a 5/5 Legendary Demon on turn 1, discarding the rest of my hand. Is that fine? Like, I guess I'm playing the YOLO deck. I guess I just, like, have to be fine with it, right? Like, this is how I'm trying to win. This isn't like the sexy Carpet of Flowers grind him out hand. This is like the I am taking a real risk hand. The cool thing here is that, like, Lotus Petal and LED are pretty unlikely to get initial counter spells. So, like, I've got that going for me. So that's 1, 2, and I can make this on my opponent's turn. Yeah, that's fine. Then it plays around Prismatic Ending. Alright. The YOLOiest of YOLOs, all in on one little demon boy. Send in for 5. Try to repeat a couple of times. The good news is, like, there's a lot of worlds where Swords to Plowshares got boarded out, right? And Ice Fang Coatl does not have Death Touch on turn 2. So, like, it's not crazy that this is good enough to get there versus a Yorion deck. Okay. Don't do it. Don't cast Prismatic Ending on me. Okay, that's not a Prismatic Ending color. That's a chump blocker, though. Or a mana acceleration that, like, gets them to things like Teferi. Yeah! Go, Demon Friend. Opponent's at 9. Everything's fine. Play it cool. Play it cool, Phil. This is certainly entertaining value, I hope. Entertaining value? This is certainly entertaining Magic, I hope. Alright. Life's bad. Because, like, I threw away a lot of resources to go all in on that plan. And, like, a baby storm kill is like, very possible from here. But if opponent has a bunch of interaction, I'm not really in a great situation. I also don't have that many starting mana sources to get going via Dark Ritual, so, like, that's a separate problem. Life total's doing fine, though. Like, I'm still at 20. That can change very quickly. Green Sun for Leovold would be a pretty big beating here. And it seems like that's what's happening. Oh, that seems wrong. Like, I don't know what opponent has, but, like, Leovold is so insane versus me. Okay. Sure, that's all fine. Like, this is so much better than I expected. Alright. Doesn't matter. I have 0 ability to cast cards currently, so opponent's line will work out fine. But, like, I would have had a hell of a punish if I drew, like, Bayou or something that lets me get Bayou. Alright, opponent's up to 12. Life's tough and gets much tougher as of next turn. Opponent also just, like, might have some counter spells. Seeing as this match is only going to take another 2 or 3 minutes, I'm not going to concede, but I expect this hit means that I'm dead. It just, like, the lowering the life total, like, innately isn't that bad, but it means that if I cast Cruel Bargain, I'm dead next turn, which is an actual problem. Do you just have a Primeval Titan? Yeah. So that can get a Bojuka Bog and nuke my graveyard. Oh, just some fetch lands. Okay. Thought there was going to be a bog over there. Okay. I am literally dead, and we end 1-4 for this. Overall thoughts on the deck list? Fun. Fun is the answer, right? Like, you don't play this deck expecting to win. You play this deck expecting to attempt to win, and, like, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I will say my matches in the tournament practice room had much better opening hands on average than my matches in this league. I did way more turn 1 and turn 2 hands goldfishing this in the tournament practice room than what happened in actual play. We did get paired against a bunch of blue decks where, like, the counter magic was live, and I pretty much had to sideboard out of a decent portion of, like, the all-in storm plan for pretty much every round post sideboard. So, like, if you're playing in a metagame where there's not a lot of blue, and, like, you can take advantage of the fact that, like, oh, my opponent's playing Death and Taxes, and I can just, like, turn 1 or turn 2 them before most of their interaction comes down, like, this might be a good deck to play. If you're playing in a metagame with a bunch of Delver and Jeskai control and stuff like that, like, maybe shy away from this one. Given the number of games that I've played with this, I don't think I have strong feelings on any of the individual cards. We didn't do a couple of the cool interactions like Pitchcast and Endurance or a Grief and then sack it to Culling of the Week, so I can't speak highly of that. Also not really sure if Eternal Witness belongs in the Game 1 deck or if something else is better there. Like, Eternal Witness and Manamorphose seem to me like the 2 weakest slots. Yeah, I think that's all I have to say here, folks. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please click the like button on the way out. It helps out a lot. If you want to hemorrhage some play points playing this deck, or if you want to get one of your own decks on the channel, the deck list and the information for my donation stuff is always available in the video description. Have a great rest of the day. See ya!